Hi everyone, it's Norma here, welcoming you to your Tuesday afternoon full body flow. It is about 3 minutes before we get started. I just wanted to welcome you to your class and invite you to get ready, whatever that looks like for you. So we don't need any props from this class. If you have yoga blocks or a pillow at home, sometimes a pillow is nice as we get down to the groundwork at the final parts of our practice. Not necessary though, or a roll-up towel or a blanket's always an alternative. If you do have yoga blocks, this is the alternative. So you can even get a couple books as long as that's not too hard on your back. So I've changed location here to the wellness office. So thank you to my wellness friends for having this beautiful space here, and I hope you don't mind that I changed this location, so hopefully that there's not as much echoing in the gym as the blowers go on and off. So I'll just, as we have friends joining us, I just wanted to send a reminder out that it is Mental Health Week here, and our focus is on helping you be supported both in your physical and your mental health, knowing that there is no mental health without, you can't just be physically strong, you need to take care of both your mental and your physical health. So yoga is a great way to actually do both. So the focus today, or this week for Mental Health Week, is not just being loud, but getting real. So often, we'll talk about this more throughout our class, but often we tell people that we're fine, especially through this pandemic. There's lots going on, and our default position may be that I'm fine, but just know that it's okay to be real, and we're encouraging people to be real. You are allowed to express how you may be feeling, if that's happy, sad, glad, frustrated, all those things. All of that combined will help you transition much easier through your day and through your life, and you'll be happier, and those around you will be much happier as well. So it is 3:30 on my clock, so we're going to get started. So finding a comfortable position on your mat, whatever that looks like for you. So that may be sitting in a seated position. You may prefer to start in Shavasana, or you may prefer to start in Child's Pose. We do have 45 minutes now. The class has been expanded, so we're not in a hurry today. If you do have a hard stop, just know that this will be available to you if you need to pick it back up, which we're going to take our time and enjoy our class today, and take a few minutes to be real and take care of our physical and mental health. So with that said, let's get started. So finding a comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you, even though I'm starting in a sitting position, take permission to come down to your backs in Shavasana, as I said, in Child's Pose. So just taking these few minutes to arrive, allowing yourself to take a few breaths to relax. Being real on your yoga mat, whatever that looks like for you right now. So a reminder that this practice is an offering. Anything that I'm providing you as a guide is an offering. If you want to spend the next 45 minutes laying in Shavasana or Child's Pose, you do that, please. This is a time for you to feel whatever you want to feel on your yoga mat, and sometimes just coming to your yoga mat and breathing is what is real and needed for your body today. So with the breath flowing freely, bringing your attention there, bringing the breath in through your nose, exhaling, sigh, let everything go. Cycle a few more of those, inhaling through your nose, Exhaling, sigh, let it all go. So however you feel comfortable connecting with your breath, sometimes hands to heart and hand to belly lets you bring your awareness back to your breath. So as we breathe and get comfortable here, just becoming aware of how do you feel? How are you real on this Tuesday afternoon in this yoga practice? So no judgments, just awareness. Bringing attention with your breath into any area that might be causing some stickiness. Sending breath there. And again, just awareness, because we'll repeat this at the end of class, and always great to see and check in how you're feeling at the beginning of class and at the end as well. Transitioning your breath now in through your nose and out through your nose, just with that small constriction at the back of your throat. Kind of sounds like a little snore. Oceanic breath gives you a bit more fire, warms our belly up, gives us fire breath as we go through our different postures today. If it's in your practice and you want to set an intention for today, maybe it is about being real. So you can go ahead and do that. If you don't really understand what that means, or that's not in your practice, I can offer, I am happy. I feel good. I'm enjoying my yoga practice. I'm glad I rolled out my mat today. Setting an intention in the affirmative allows that to go out to the universe and for that to be heard and for things to be resonated and perhaps come true. If you're sitting on a seat, as we begin to warm up our bodies, we're going to all transition onto our backs. So taking a moment, stretching your hands overhead, stretching your body out long, and then taking your hands in like you're a ball. Sorry, I lost you on the screen. Sorry, guys. So curling up like a ball. Just massaging out your belly, your back, rotating yourself from side to side as we warm up our spine. Offering some stillness now as we stretch our feet up. Can you just have some pumping to your feet? You can support your legs by holding onto the back of your legs or your upper thighs. And just giving some motion, coming out your feet, bending your knees generously, reaching through the window of your legs now. It's whatever's accessible, your ankles, your pant leg, perhaps your toes are accessible. Reaching up into our happy baby. So big generous bend with your knees here as we're just warming up. What does your body need right now? Bring your knees to chest like you're waking up from a big sleep. Rolling yourself over to one side or the other as you push yourself up to a seated position. And we'll transition to hands and knees as we set up for tabletop. So with our tabletop position, making sure that our fingers are flared wide. Shoulders are stepped on top of elbows on top of your wrists. taking the insides of our elbows and turning them forward. Your toes can be tucked under or toes can be flat. I find with this sometimes if I tuck my toes, that my balance is a little bit better. Whatever's feeling good in your body. We're going to travel through some cat-cow, sagging your belly, lifting your gaze. Exhaling, belly button to spine, curling up like a scary Halloween cat. Inhaling, traveling through 3 of these more on your own breath. Linking your breath with movement. Knowing that you are your own best teacher. Great advice from one of my favorite teachers. So in these postures, if something doesn't feel right with you and you maybe want to add a little movement to your pose, big permission to do that. You'll practice your body. You know what you're looking for the next 45 minutes. Traveling through one more wherever you are. And meeting in a neutral spine. Taking our hands just a smidge forward on the mat. If your toes aren't tucked, please tuck them now. Bending generously into your hands and your knees as you lift your hips up and back to your first downward facing dog. So in this downward dog, pedaling out your feet, wagging your tail from side to side, pouring your heart through the window of your arms, lining up your biceps to your ears. If your hamstrings are tight, know that we want to continue to warm up. Bend your knees generously and pour your heart through. Offering some stillness now, bending your knees, looking to the top of your mat and traveling there. I'm just going to bend 10 forward. So in our first forward fold, once again, big generous bend to your knees, feeling that compression of your belly against your thighs, taking us opposite elbows into a ragdoll position. Just taking your arms in gentle circles, slower than you want to, 3 one way. And then 3 in the opposite direction. As we come back to stillness, letting our hands fall. Just thinking of any tension that you may be carrying with you, just dripping off the back of your neck into your yoga mat. And let's flow. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up. Taking your hands to heart center. Just going to take a moment to check on everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Alrighty. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up. Once again, bringing all that energy, taking it right into your heart. Inhaling. This time, bowing over your soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back into your first chaturanga. So knowing again that we're warming up, so high or low plank, lowering all the way to your mat, your chaturanga. Inhaling a baby back bend, making sure that your forehead and your chest is still focusing on a spot on your mat. Pushing up through table, downward facing dog. Surya Namaskar A. I love starting with sun salutations to warm up the body, getting us ready for our vinyasa practice. So as we flow through these chaturangas, vinyasa, whatever term that you use or comfortable with, know that your home base is this downward facing dog or child's pose. Taking your knees wide on the mat, Settling your hips and your forehead down. Always an offering to you. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling together. Exhaling, sigh, let everything go. Bending your knees, traveling to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, high or low plank, rinse it out through your chaturanga. Maybe your cobra is a little higher now. Maybe up dogs in your practice. Rinse it out how you feel. 5 breaths here. Inhaling together. Exhale, sigh, let everything go. One more time through Sun A. Bending your knees, traveling to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow. Half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, chaturanga. Upward dog is in your practice as we warm up. Invitation to go there. Permission to add some push-ups as we go along. We'll bring more of that into our core flow on Thursday. Breathe your right leg up behind you. Take your right foot and step it through. Taking a moment to set up your foundation in our first standing series, crescent lunge, knowing that low crescent lunge is always available for us. We can pad up our knee, flipping the mat to give extra cushion if you have any knee problems going on. Making sure that we're strong in our foundation. Also knowing that you can come up into a high crescent lunge if that's in your practice. So focusing on our heart today, we're going to add some back bends, but knowing that we're going to start slow and go steady. So taking your hands to heart center, can you take your hands out to the side to cactus arms? Sometimes at B-Yoga we call these jazzy hands, so honoring that memory. So staying low in our lunge, up on the toes of our back feet, opening our chest in our cactus arms, feeling that great expansion as we open up our heart space. You're still breathing here. Pivoting on your back foot, opening up, warrior 2. So in our warrior poses, having that strength in our foundation and offering some softness as our hands float like wings out to the side, gazes over your right middle finger. Flipping the right hand, reach it up and back, exalt your warrior. Once again, feeling that openness in our side body, feeling breath. Opening our heart up there. Coming back to warrior 2. Flipping your hand one more time. Let's do that again. Coming back through warrior 2. This time taking your right arm, bending it at your elbow, using your right leg as a shelf without dumping into that. Sitting up for side angle. So if it's in your practice, an alternative could be reaching for your inner leg, still having that bend to your knee or to a block or the ground. Taking your hand up and open, opening the left side of your heart. Knowing that if your breath is compromised at all, with extending that, either taking your hand down to your hip or coming back to your elbow. You can still open that side of your chest and your heart without lifting up your hand. Always options. Are you still breathing? Beautiful, guys. Pivoting on your back foot, taking hands beside right foot, stepping right foot back to rinse it out with a chaturanga. Knowing that downward dog is your home base if that's what you choose. 3 breaths there to reset. I'm just going to change my position so that you can see me with left leg forward. Everybody doing okay? If you have a drink of water available and you need a sip, go there anytime. Alrighty, second side. Taking your left leg up behind you, stepping your left leg all the way through, or helping it there. So once again, one second could be completely different than the other. So if low lunge is in your practice, we're going to go there, or we're going to stay in our high crescent lunge. Taking our hands to heart center to start, and then opening up into our cactus arms or our jazzy hands. So feeling that opening of our chest, keeping our elbows bent, fingers are wide. Pivoting on your back foot as we open up into Warrior Two. So once again, making sure that we're bending generously into that front knee. Weight is shared between our feet. Strong foundation in our stance, and offering this softness like wings of our arms. Are you still breathing? Beautiful, warriors. Flipping your left hand, reach it up and back, exalt your warrior. This time feeling that breath in the left side of your body. And back, Warrior Two. Let's do that again. Flipping our left palm, reach it up and back, exalt your warrior. Keeping that bend to our front leg as we cycle through Warrior Two as we prepare for the side angle. So bending our left elbow this time, coming down onto that shelf of our left leg without dumping in, feeling it lifted out of your torso. Know that you can stay here with hand to hip, opening that right side of your heart this time, or you can take it down to your inner thigh, your inner ankle, or a block. You can take your hand and your gaze up to the sky. Knowing that as you dig into these poses, if that's taking your breath, we want to come back and find something that serves us. Your practice. Beautiful, guys. Taking our hands to the mat, stepping left foot to meet right. We're going to throw through a vinyasa and then meet in child's pose for 5 breaths. So coming down on hands and knees, Knees can be wider than the mat. Sitting your hips down. Letting your forehead rest to the mat. Letting your shoulders have a moment of ease. Knowing that a good time to have a drink of water as well. Breathing into that back side of your heart. So this is a really opportunity to be real in child's pose. You know, generally, here we are with our heart protected with our chest and our rib cage. And as we open into child's pose, the back of our heart is there. And it's a way to us to breathe into that back side of our body. And know that it's okay to be vulnerable at times in this position, knowing that you're safe and protected here. And it's okay to be real, especially when you're on your yoga mat. When you're ready, we're going to push up into your downward facing dog. Let's inhale together. Exhale. Silent it all go. Fresh start. Take your right leg up behind you. Step your right leg through to the top of your mat. Always an option to help your leg through too. I was telling a story today that when I started yoga, I had to help my leg up to the top of the mat by actually pulling my leg forward. And that's me being real, guys. 7.5 years later, I'm now teaching yoga. So this is an opportunity to know that through coming back to your mat, you know, things are possible and everything lands different in everybody's body. So taking your left hand on the mat, we're going to strike, twisting to the right, opening our heart up to the right side of the room. Lunge twist. So we're doing lots of twists today, lots of forward folds, just to open our heart up and fold into ourselves to give back to ourselves as well. Give and take. Taking your right hand to the mat. Just coming up on your tented fingers as you step your left foot up, a few feet up your mat. So kind of like you're setting up for warrior one, but just a little shorter in your stance. So we're gonna come up to stand with our hands on our hip. Pyramid pose. So our hips are forward to the center. And you can hold your hands on your hip just to prepare. So we wanna lengthen from our spine and we wanna drape our torso over our right leg. So again, this should be not rounding of your spine, but actually lengthening your heart and pouring over that right leg without locking out your right knee. Sometimes there's some intensity to this pose, so knowing that if you've come down too far, big permission to come out. Just like we were talking last week, you want to go to your edge, but not beyond that. Beautiful, guys. Taking your hands forward up to the top of your mat. Can you let your left toes come away like you're standing on the wall behind you, coming up into warrior three. So warrior three is a balanced posture, so take it where your practice is. If you do have something to hold on to, you have a block or you have a pillow, maybe you take your hands up to that. Again, making sure that your foot is flexed like you're standing on that wall behind you. Or you can try and test your balance and come up to heart center. Fantastic. Even if it's just for a sec, taking your left foot to meet right, taking your feet as wide as your mat, going back into our ragdoll just to let that all go, just switching if you've reached for different opposite elbows than when we started with at the beginning of class. So Jen, or bend to your knees, letting that all go. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up as we swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back behind you. This time, taking your right hand underneath your right shoulder, can you twist open to the left? Beautiful, guys. Taking that left hand to the outside of your left foot. Taking your right foot and stepping it a few feet up your mat on that 45-degree angle. Making sure that your hips are square. Can you take your hands to your waist? Pyramid pose, second side. So elongating out of our spine as we gently bend over our left foot, taking our hands down to the mat or to our lower leg, whatever's accessible. So once again, making sure that our hips are staying to the front and that left hip's not popping out. Can you pour over the soft left knee? Feel that stretch in the back of your leg. You know where we're going now, taking your hands to the top edge of your mat, dragging your right foot up behind you as we step into Warrior Three. So one leg could be completely different than the other. See where this can take you, challenging your balance. Again, reaching up to a block, or hands to heart center, or maybe you're flying like Superman today, or Superwoman, challenging your balance that much further. A little change here. I want you to step your right foot all the way back because I know you can do that. Returning to your crescent lunge. We're going to take left foot to meet right and flow through our final vinyasa. Five breaths here, and we're going to transition down onto our backs for some floor work. How's everybody doing? Okay. So when you're ready, we're going to sit on our mats. And I'm going to be facing forward. If you want to stay onto the long edge of your mat, that's perfectly good, whatever suits your body. So just as we were doing in our pyramid pose, we're going to breathe long out of our hips before we reach forward to, again, whatever's accessible. So that be your ankles, your pant leg, or your toes. Knowing that we don't want to round out our spine. We want to hinge and reach what's accessible to us. Once again, not locking out your knees. Sometimes as your breath lengthens, you maybe can inch yourself down a little bit. Knowing again, if you're starting to round out, we want to back off. Beautiful, guys. Coming back up to center. Taking our right leg and stepping our right foot beside our knee, our left knee. So you can stay here, or if it's in your practice, you can take your right foot across your leg, only if your feet stay on the ground. If your foot is elevated like mine, you're gonna keep back here. So breathing out long out of our spine, taking left hand to our right knee, and reaching our right hand back behind us. So reaching out long as we twist open to the right. Coming back to center, just a simple twist to the left just to reset. Taking right foot out to meet left and just shaking your legs off here. Second side, taking your left foot, taking it beside your right knee. Keeping it held quite firmly to your side. Option to take your foot across. Once again, if that's not level with the floor, we're going to stay here. Knowing your body, doing what's in your practice. So breathing out long out of our spine, taking right hand to left knee, reaching to our left back, and twisting open to our left. Try not to sink in. Once again, sitting up nice and tall, twisting out from our spine, opening our heart to the left side of the room. Coming back to center, just a simple twist to the right just to reset your spine. And we're going to come down to our mats. So if you have a block or a pillow with you, you're going to bring it all the way down to the mat. I'm just going to go this way so I know that you guys can see me. Just a few more things before Shavasana. So coming all the way down to your mat, we're going to have our feet flat on the floor. And we're going to tuck our shoulders underneath our arms. So keeping our feet flat on the floor, taking our hands down to the mat, can you gently push your hips up into bridge pose? Coming down, just letting your arms relax for a moment, just to set up for a second time. So taking your feet as close to your bottom as you can, reaching your hands down. Sometimes even your fingers can be touching and grazing your ankles. Can you push into your feet as you gently lift your hips up? Taking your hips down to the floor one more time. Taking our feet wide as the mat and just offering some windshield wipers from back side to side here. Slow and steady. Gazing into our final Shavasana pose in a few moments. The next time your knees fall to the right, leave them there and take your right foot so it hooks over your left knee. Taking your left arm up and overhead, right hand to belly. So we once again feel that breath on the left side of our body. Your gaze can be over your left shoulder. Taking our knees back to center, uncrossing our legs, going back to our windshield wipers. Knees falling from side to side, slow and steady. The next time your knees fall to the left, you can leave them there, taking your left knee now, hooking over your right. Taking your right hand up and overhead, left hand to belly. Your gaze can be over your right shoulder, or eyes can be closed. Letting your knees come back to center now. Taking knees to chest, taking your head and shoulder up and giving yourself a big hug for all the work you've done through your practice. Taking our feet up to the ceiling just like we started practice. Reaching through the window of our legs to whatever's accessible, be that your pant leg, your ankles, or maybe your toes are accessible. Just seeing how you feel in this happy baby. Same posture we started our practice with. Just observing, how do you feel after 45 minutes of moving and breathing, being part of this community this afternoon. Bringing your knees into your chest. Offering any final movement you body may be craving before we reach out into our Shavasana pose. So taking your feet wide, letting your feet fall open to the corners of your mat. Hand can be beside your arms. Arms could be in cactus, like we started in our lunge earlier. So offering any last little wiggle before we settle here, knowing that the last few minutes of practice is for you to rest and reflect, and know that the sound of my voice will bring you back when the time is right. Enjoy. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed, and may you be a source of healing for all beings. Offering some small movements now back into your body as you slowly bring your awareness back. Rotating out your fingers and your toes and your ankles and your wrists. Maybe offering a long stretch like you're waking up from a long nap before curling into a ball and rotating to one side or the other before pushing yourself up to a seat. As you come up to a seated position at the top of your mat, taking your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Just taking a moment to notice any changes, may they be big or small, in your heart, your body, your mind, knowing that those are all connected. Maybe coming back to that intention you set for yourself at the beginning of class. Maybe planning to bring that off your mat when you finish our class today. It's been my honor to guide you in practice today. Know that the love and the light in my heart bows to the love and the light in your heart. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Thanks for joining. Know that it's really important that you get real. Get loud about that. If you have any stories to share or you want to send a picture participating in any of our classes this week, big opportunity to do that. We'll be sharing. And I think I just had my first video problem, so sorry about that. Wishing everybody beautiful days. Get out and enjoy that sunshine if you have an opportunity. Thank you for joining me, and get real, everybody. Stay safe, be well. Namaste.